Okay, 3 o'clock on the dot. Alhamdulillah. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Montessori Association of Malaysia. We're back. It's a new year. Well, it's almost the second month of the new year, and bracing ourselves with so many things happening because it's really the end of February, Jasmine.
I know, time flies.
Time flies.
Yes, and the new school year.
Yes, the new school year, exactly. We just couldn't help ourselves. We must say something about the new school year because new children starting school and the reactions has been viral in the papers, not papers, in the social media and all that, has brought us moved ourselves to want to say something about it.
Yes, and to say hello and check in with everyone.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. So I hope everybody's had a good school break or beginning of the school year, beginning of the year and Chinese New Year and everything. And now we're like calm, we're like ready to go and get on with things. We always have to get on things. Yes. Okay.
Reflect.
That's okay. So we're gonna talk about the latest reaction to 6-year-olds going to school, right? There was a video viral about one poor child who was traumatized, obviously. I don't know if anybody's seen it, but he just wanted to go home. And of course, it was prevented from the teacher. It's a sekolah kebangsaan, and the teacher just closed the door, stood in front of the door, and the poor boy, he just got panic and all that, and the best defense system, he picked up his bag and threw it at the teacher to get out of the way. I want to go home. Okay. So, right. A lot of people have said many different reactions about things. So there was this newspaper come out in Cosmo saying that kanak-kanak tadika sekarang semua pelik-pelik because of this one incident. And they gone on to say things about they don't know how to play, they don't know how to socialize, if they bump into people, they don't say sorry, and the lack of sensory, tasting things that are actually instruments for doing art and things like that. So I thought, what a start to a year. Usually it's like children are excited to go.
Finally, I can meet my friends and meet new people.
Yes.
But now it's reluctant to go to school.
Yeah.
What happened?
I mean, I'm sure it's not spread across all kindergartens. I mean, some of you are owners. You can share with us your experiences. But from a Montessori point of view, we're not necessarily saying that you should go to Montessori school, therefore you won't have any of this. No. We are in the here and now. We want to be able to help and suggest in a very persuasive manner, perhaps how we can help our teachers and parents to soften a little bit some of this rough edges that probably has been brought about because of environment, more than anything else, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think?
I think, from my experience that I worked in a Montessori school in the States way back for 10 years, and then also in China, Beijing for 14 years. And now that it's actually quite common the beginning of school year to see all different scenario. And as for myself in the classroom or the owner of the school in Beijing, we usually do home visit.
Home visits?
Yes.
You go to the children's homes?
Yes. In the States.
It's not alien to me. I used to run the school.
Well, in the States, we go home visit. Okay. So the teachers will arrange for the new students because we are a mixed age group. So we don't have like 22 new kids. So we probably have like 6 or 8, usually a mix.
That's right. Yes.
So the kids will get to know us, the teacher, and then we get to know the family. So the mutual trust has begun.
So this will be like 6, 7, or 8 3-year-olds.
Yeah, 3 to 6.
When you say the beginning of school year, do they come in when they're 4 or 5 or 6, or do they only come in at 3?
It depends.
Okay.
Because we don't cut off the age, like you can come in on by 3 or 4 or 5, because people move.
Yes.
And then they enroll, you take in, and that's in the States. And then, but when I was in China, home visit, it's also one of the things that the MOE over there require to do.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes people will get not comfortable going to
Yes.
your house. So
Yes.
what we do at school is, we have a mini open house or potluck to invite the parents,
The potential
welcome back.
parents
Yeah,
about to start.
you're right. Let's say last week was the first day, Monday. And then on Saturday, on Sunday, the public school will have welcome back and half a day. So the school, especially for preschool, we will have the family to join at the park or nearby the
So
school.
less formal.
Social.
Yeah. Real life.
Yes.
Not social as in social media. Social as in social. Yes. Right. Yeah.
And that's the transition. It's very important, both for family and especially for children, so that they get to see, this is going to be my new place that I'm going to have fun.
Yeah.
And I will see the teachers. So the teachers during that time, maybe it's only an hour, not long.
Yes.
It's not like a long play date, 3 hours. And I will get to meet and greet, we call it.
Right. Meet and greet. Okay.
Yes, meet and greet. And the teachers will have crafts or will have different stations, read aloud.
Okay.
So they get to see the whole dynamic of
Outdoors.
Outdoor.
Wonderful.
Outdoor.
Sir, where is Coco, Mason?
Hello. Hello.
Let's go
yes.
home, Mason. We go back home. Okay?
Can somebody, is it Jennifer or is it somebody's, just hello, hi. Just to say, if you can mute up, who's that?
Ready?
Thai can,
Thai.
Thai.
Yeah, Thai.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Later on, you just put your hand out. You want to say something, by all means. Okay. Okay. So, so you were saying, to cushion the first day of school, we have a social event with the families before in a nice sort of a child-friendly, non-threatening, put in a safe area where the children can do things and the teachers can actually get to know them outside of the school formal environment, which I get it. I understand. Some parents, they say, at home he's like this, but at school he's like this. I said, yeah, it's different, most definitely. So when the children understand that we're on the same boat, same page as the parents, I know. Okay, they know that we know that they can, for example, put on their own shoes because they do it at school, and then at home they know that we know, so they will not, ask mom and dad to put on their shoes, right? So that sort of informality is there, so they're more relaxed, and all that. So home visits is a good idea to do. It's just, yes, of course, it's more work and all that, but this is what we are talking about, human development, right?
To have a good start.
A good start.
The first impression of the children to see what is school, because from home to school, it's a big leap.
Yes.
For many, all children are different.
Yes.
So some of them, when you say, the kids are get colleague and this, we have a lot of labeling.
Yes, absolutely.
You need to
start the labeling.
Strike out this labeling, and just to have a different eyes to see the highlights of each child.
That's right. Through the eyes of the children, right?
The eye level.
Yes. Yeah. So, of course, as Montessori's, we will always be, advocates for our children, and always, as long as it's in their benefit, for their benefit, their interest, and as a good in terms of human development, etc. So, the first day of school, some schools, I think they do like bring their children to the school with the cooperation of the principal and say, can we participate in one morning, sort of like a school trip to the school, and normally they will say it's like, it's this big school, it's going to be different, some do that, right? So at least it's something, but it's still not the same as having a sort of like a picnic in the park with this, for the gentle sort of easing in, right? So so that video of the poor traumatized child, reacting in such a way, so traumatized and sad, because can you imagine if you're in a new place and you've got no friend and no ally, right?
And
how-
that will stay in within this
forever.
child.
Yes, yes. I mean, there's not one right or wrong way about it. We're just, offering, possibly, and it's happened, right? So like for future, possibly, if there's a possibility, of easing in the children to their first day at school. Not to say that they don't try, right?
Yeah, I mean, all experience matters.
Mhm.
And we are trying to give the best learning vibes and experience to our kids.
Yeah.
Well, especially for those the first time leaving the house
Mhm.
to meet new people and to in a place that we don't know anything. It's so different than home.
Mm.
Even though in Montessori classroom you still have practical life, there's similar things that at home.
That's right. yeah.
Still, the whole environment is very different.
Exactly. I mean, of course, it's also different if you go from a Montessori preschool that's been practicing it the best that they can, and then go on to an elementary or primary Montessori school. There's this kind of different sort of that they're just turning out for work. They're just older, so to speak. And most of the time, from my experiences, we see like the children is like barely say bye to the parents. It's like I'm busy, bye, and I got to go to work. Especially after the COVID, like the lockdown. The children didn't have materials at home. We couldn't like give them all a glow beach or anything like that. So when they came back, they're like, sense of direction, purpose. They just wanted to catch up with everything. And you want to see that excitement. I want to go to school. The pet snail is grown, the tadpole, the this and that. And you have signs when the children say they don't want to go to school. That's when you will worry a little bit. Yeah. And all kinds of strategies. Parents, they need ideas and all that. So it would be a wonderful, like if everybody worked together and didn't wait to the last minute in the sense like, okay, it's time to wash your hands, so go wash your hands. And that's when you give the lesson of washing your hands. No, right? Because hurry, it's time for class, blah, 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 etc. You practice before when there's no pressure, isn't it?
Anytime is teachable moments. Catch that moments and then show it to them. So the kids will not realizing they are learning. They learn by, you teach by not teaching, I always call it.
Yes.
And the kids will learn it and love it without them knowing that I will learn something. But when you ask questions, fluently telling them what's happening.
Yeah. We are not to say on a mission, but ma'am, we feel that all our children, all our teachers, parents, all deserve the best. Okay, and we've been very lucky to connect with people like Jasmine. And last year we went to Penang to speak for mental wellness. Was it Penang? And then we went to Singapore. The year before we went to Bangkok. And so we met people, and it's nice for practitioners like Jasmine and myself and some of you there to say, oh, okay, we're still with it. It's not outdated like a lot of people say. You still have the pink towels. Yes, it's 100 over years old, and we'll still always have it in 100 years' time. Okay, and people are doing the things that are bringing out the best of the children naturally. So it's really good to connect and all that, and to continue. In Southeast Asia, our country, Malaysia, here has a lot to be persuaded with, because at the end of the day, it's the system, it's the environment. We don't feel like something's done until there's been like a traveling of information from my mouth to you, and to say, do you know it, right? And then we test it. Okay, so it's not like it's like we just show it and you try it again and again, and then you say, hey teacher, it's like this, right? That would be wonderful, but for some reason we feel the need to have to teach our children. When, as we know, Montessori encourages us to present and observe so that we can see how our children learn best and they can teach themselves.
And I like about it's the transformation. I can't teach you anything, but through the way that when you observe how I do things and I observe how you complete your stuff, I see the transformation. Adults and the child and the parents for the past 20 plus years. When this happened, I say that's the transformation education that everybody deserves it.
Yes, everyone deserves it. But of course, as we know, pressures of this and that and everything else, we can list it. Okay,
so whole long list.
The grades, the scholarships, the neighbors next door, the the what have you, but we hear what's best practices for the child. Inshallah, Maria Montessori noticed that children have needs, right? And the most important thing is that in order for us to understand their needs, we need to communicate. So show for respect. That's the most important. We have to start that. So when we know our children really well, better, then we can cushion the first day. We can understand how they respond a certain way because of what happened and all that. And so I think in a nutshell, to that video that was viral, I think we need more and more to support our parents, support our teachers, support our community to give ideas about how it is best to deliver our children to this opening night of the first day of school. It's like a show, isn't it? Just getting them ready just for that. Yeah. Okay. So what else? I think that video they talked about the children wanting to taste the paint colors and smell the glue. Oh dear.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So obviously this is new environment. Okay. But we all know, right? Children are sensorial creatures. We all know that. So if they've had enough of that at kindergarten level, allowed to touch, allowed to taste, to smell, to do everything, and if they haven't been allowed to do that, then it's understandable why the child might go and lick something or what have you. Because
so that's the time we call it the sensitive
periods, yes.
So there are the times that children so eagerly how they learn. Of course, the first best sensory is through their mouth.
Yes.
So when they were young, like before 2, especially when 1 and 1.5 years old, do a whole plain development, we can talk forever.
Yes.
They don't have that chance. What I often see is the caregiver will say, "Oh, don't touch. Oh, it's yucky. It's dirty. Don't you cannot do this, cannot do that." When you restrict it, no. So by the time they have the chance, they will truly what it. They will just secretly do it. And that's why choking hazard, it's happened so often.
It just happened lately.
Exactly. And I saw the news and my husband said, already 5 still put beads. I said, well, poor kid, because that they don't get the chance and they are really curious. So there are times when they know the ways to be curious, encourage that, and how to explore.
Yes.
So you want them to explore it the way that is safe. Then churi.
Yeah. And also, of course, I mean, not just that session, but very sad news this week that older boy, 10 years old, who ate something, and it was so. In terms of our community making it safe for our children, okay, to see through the eyes of our children and to be able to inform them what is dangerous, what is not. And I mean, we can go and talk about this healthy food, unhealthy food, this and that, what have you. The balance that we have to try to achieve. The children can't vote for parliament. I mean, they could. They'll probably say, can we have candy shops in every school or something like that, right? But what's good for them, what's safe for them, but they wouldn't know. This is a beet. Okay, and wonder what it tastes like, and or whatever it is, right? And they get confused because we do things like chocolate coins that you can eat, right? And we forget to explain to our children about fantasy and reality.
Oh yes. Are we into that doing promotion for Disney or Pixar, or we doing something that in real life reality?
Yeah. So
because they can't distinguish.
They can't tell.
Is it like the heroes, the real heroes, or is it only fantasy?
Yeah. I mean, for me, for my experience as a child, that long time ago, I won't say how many years ago, but I remember being petrified of a certain puppet show. Okay, because I thought, how does it work? Is there somebody inside? And I've never seen that person inside. And so whenever I saw the character come out on TV, I'm like, are we scared? Although the character is a nice character, happy singing, whatever, but are we scared of what's inside? So I mean, people who do magic shows now, clowns, they know better. They get dressed up with the children and things like that. But to go to the extent of trying to entice our children to come to school and wear these costumes, Now, is it really? So you want them to come to school because of you, the teacher. That's what you have to offer at the school. So
Yes.
if any transformation or transformers you want to talk about, is the teacher,
Yes.
right? You don't need the costume.
You don't need the costume. Humans, I always say, human is social.
Social,
So they want to go out because they want to meet people.
Mm.
And along the way, learning how to meet people, how to live with other people in this period of time, 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours. Okay. So when they want to go to school because they feel safe in your school, when you have too many fantasy or even have a cartoony, so they don't know, is it a real? Some of them are afraid.
Yeah.
I've seen overwhelming of kids crying because this huge, big costume that play out that I don't know whether it's real or not real. I don't not like I like about it or dislike about it. It's just that children will need, if you have a table outside your school
Yes.
with tonguing, with
Yes.
sponge squeezing,
Yes.
with water
Fans,
pouring,
leaves.
okay, a sensory table that will just be there for hours, not leaving
Yes.
until you say, okay, we can come back again next time. You have to drag them away,
That's
you
right.
know.
The
Time to
senses.
go home. Yes,
You can't go
senses.
wrong with
It's
that.
a human nature.
Absolutely.
But then with outside of stimulation, the adult selling,
yes. Yeah.
it has, I don't want to say poison, but it has changed to let the children see that colorful things is attractive, but they're actually not liking any too stimulating places. That's why in the Montessori classroom, you see things are really calm. The color is plain. It's not overwhelming of stimulation of all different colors and pasting everywhere.
Yes.
Usually we don't.
No,
We don't see that.
Yeah. So, I mean, parents know better or don't know better, whatever. So hopefully you will join us in our mission here in MAM. We hope to be a little bit more of service. So all of you out there, even if you're in Bintulu or Melaka, hello Zara. Okay. From your end, show what Montessori does, all the nature, and share it and you come on Google Meet like us live this time, and we'll put it in our portfolio. So when people want to know more about what actually is really Montessori, we have an episode on fantasy, an episode and whatever, so people understand that children in today's environment, which is already full of challenges, with we have to say AI, digital and whatever, and parents, maybe they are not aware of so many ideas we can give to interact and engage with children to enhance their capacities. And at the end of the day, this wins, right? Societies, our nations are starting to recognize the downside of it all. I know one country in Europe, they don't allow it for 2-year-olds and below. I don't know how they enforce it. Okay. And then just of late, is it New Zealand, Australia? Australia, they banned social media for 16 and below. So it's gotten to such a stage that the country, the people who govern the managed country has said, okay, this has to stop. So happily to say that WAM was invited. We're always invited, and I hope that you will all join us sometimes, because to go and do the table discussions, to speak to select committees in Parliament, etc. And so we try our very best to share what is the real thing, what is the best practice for children, to let them use their natural assets. This is sensory, So and let parents capitalize on those opportunities of learning. Rather than have a helper to do things, the cooking at home, rather than, give opportunities, saying nothing is a wasted time, everything's a teachable moment that you can try and grab it, right?
When you talk about it in this difficult time means that our environment is changing. We can't stop the changes. We can't stop things not to change. So I just want to share, while we were saying that, I just thought of something I think I should share with our friends here. our children right now, they need to be a global citizen, and they need to be a critical thinker, and they need to be a problem solver. Like just like yesterday, my son told me that, Mom, every time I toast the bread, because he's 8, he has to make his own breakfast, it burned. I say, why? Did you put it all the way to 3 or 4 when it's really burned? I say, no, I think our toaster is old. And then I say, so what's the solution?
Okay.
So he said, maybe we should get a new one. And then I said, how much budget do you have? So he said that he has 50 from Ang Pao. So 50 ringgit. And then I say, so my question to him is, so where should we buy a new one? Should we get on Shopee? And then, or should we go to see the physical things?
Yeah.
So he chose to go buy the physical to see the real thing.
Yes.
And then I say, you want to go Jaya Grocer, or you want to go Aeon, or which one you want to go? Lotus.
There's a whole process to things.
Yes. And then he will say, let's try Aeon first. I say, why? Because on the way home, I see it say Ramadan sale. I was like, oh, okay.
So he's come up with a solution.
Yes.
Do that.
Yes. Yes. And he bought a new one within his own budget.
And it's his, actually, but he will share with the family.
Yeah, because he thinks that he cannot control how to burn the bread. So he has to figure out a way to solve this problem. And then this problem solves the whole family.
Exactly.
That's
Let them participate
yes.
in the family,
Yes.
things that's going. So our young children, 2, 3, 4, we want to make things easy, so we decide for them, right? Whereas when they're older, we see they're so indecisive. So we should give them more opportunity to be decisive. Would you like to wear this, or you like to wear that, and all that? But it's a bit tough, wouldn't you agree? Because our society, a lot of us, we're in a hurry. The choices are made for you, and so the opportunities for learning is just less. The learning has reduced to what's in the book and how much you remember. Right? So
The intrinsic motivation, it's in there, like Montessori say, the hormone,
that's what it
is in there. But we are the adult, the society keeps smashing that since they were young until no more flame.
No more flame.
And then we have to using our torch or lighter, our anything to flame up the learning flame inside there.
Right.
And that time you will need triple, multiple energy, not by going to tuition only.
Yeah.
It's after school, it's tuition.
Yes. After school, it would be wonderful if they could do things like, performing arts, helping community, living the real life, and being the ambassador for their family, and being all that. But it is a tough thing. But as we all know, it's a community thing that we have to, it takes a global community now to raise a child. And I hope that with our bites of advice as well as preferences, hopefully it's of persuasive value. But most of you here are school owners and all that. Perhaps you can give us some input about how things have been for you from the first day of school, or you'd like to comment on what we are talking about today. I see Zara, you put your hand up. Was it intentional, Zara? Are you there, Zara? Maybe it was accidentally, these things. So we'll open to anyone else. So someone can give us a break from the speaking if anybody wants to make a comment.
Were you referring to me?
Anybody? No, sorry, I've forgotten you got 2 Zaharas here. Sorry. There's another Zara.
Mine is Zuhaira. I thought you
You are
meant
Zuhaira,
me.
that's right. Zara's got hands up. I think she didn't realize it must have pressed it.
Okay.
But anyway, still, Zara, you have anything you'd like to share about the first day of school? How has it been for your school? And, you heard about the news about the Standard 1 child who was quite traumatized and reacted quite violently, and people are making all kinds of snide remarks, these keyboard warriors, as well as two sides to things, right? So have you said have you got anything to say, Zara, or comment?
Yes,
I
it's me.
think.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
raised my hand tapi yeah, I am Sarah Melaka.
okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yeah, but your anyway, while you're at it, Zara, your audio is quite I don't know, it's like choppy sort of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Never mind. Let's offer to Zohara first, because she
okay.
thought really we were talking to her because I had Zara. Zara, do you have something to say?
Sorry, we have similar
No worries.
names.
Yes.
I'm Zuhaira, and I run a lovely kindergarten, which is situated in a lovely neighborhood, and we have got a lot of greens around us. I think it's very important for children to be close to nature. It has a more calming effect. And having a big playground in the open air is also very calming for new children because they just love the playground. But of course, that's a luxury for a lot of people. I'm also volunteering at a little kindergarten, a preschool, and a school right in the heart of Chowkit. So
Oh.
you can see how, yes, and you can see how the environment actually affects the way the children are, also their home environment. I simply love the idea of having to go to the parents and see the parents. Sometimes some of them are very private. They don't want you to see their homes.
Yes.
So your suggestion about having this kind of like a potluck and meet the parents and the kids first, before school or even after the first week, I think that is lovely because I don't think we've done that before, and it's a very good idea.
Wonderful.
But when I listen to this after having running around here, then everywhere, and I can sit down and listen, you remind me how important it is to see things from the child's eyes, and not necessarily only the parents, because although the parents are, inverted commas, the ones who are paying, is the child that it will be experiencing what we offer in the school. So that is, to me, a very important take-home point for today for me.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zohara. Yeah. So, this all is, I think, great feedback. Maybe we should do a sort of like formal reply to this news bit, if it's okay with all of you, I don't have to mention names or whatever.
I
But
think so. I think you should.
the
I think you should
transcript
because
of our call.
otherwise people think
Yes.
it's so one-sided.
Yes. We'll do that. Thank you, Zahara, for your comment. Okay, Zahara. Would you like? Zahara, you do have your hand up initially because you had a question or you were going to say something. Are you there with us?
Oh, hi.
Okay.
No, just now you said hi, Zahara. I thought it was a hi sign, so I just like pressed on it. I was just answering to your hi.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah, we learn. I forgot that you're quite right. It does look like a high sign, doesn't it? And this is
Yeah,
actually
I was
something
just
you
saying
would
hi.
say.
Oh, hello. Okay, wave kind of thing. Yeah.
So you can unhigh if you like. I think you just click
Oh,
the
really?
I think
Oh,
so.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. Anyway, since you're on, would you like to say something? How's it been for you? I think you have your daughter who's just started school, right?
Yes,
How's
that's
it
right.
been? Go on, please share with us.
Okay. Well, yeah, I've been homeschooling Khadija for until she was about 5, and then I got her into some preschools in Malacca, and then when she was 6, I actually started working at a preschool. It is an international preschool, semi Montessori they call it. So, and so she's been with me throughout the whole year. The first day of school, well, actually, I'll bring it back to the orientation.
Mhm.
She she's quite a well-adjusted child. It's just sometimes slight things would might trigger her. So she had a little bit of a tantrum when she was going to take this orientation test. She's like, I think she was like, why do I have to take this? I just want to go to school. You know, I don't want to have to sit down and take a test with all these other kids and then leave. It's like, why am I doing this? So all of these questions are going on in her head. And I didn't really have, the immediate answers that she wanted to hear. Like, we just have to take the test. So, we know what class we're going to be in. It's like, it doesn't matter. She's like, it doesn't matter what class I want to be in. I just don't want to take the test. She said like that. I know. And then, but we had, but I had to do it because she needed to be placed into a class,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
So she had a 45-minute cry down, meltdown tantrum, ya Allah, and until I finally just let her go to the teacher. The teacher just took over and, settled her down. And 10 minutes later, she's like, oh, congratulations. She aced the test. She's in the top class. I'm like, oh my God. After all that, right?
Yeah.
And then yeah lah. But I'm quite happy. It's been a while since I've had one in a primary school,
Right.
so it's been quite a gap. But
Yeah.
this time around, the orientation week, which they were having last week, was quite surprisingly different. Because they allowed a group of parents who volunteered to join in the activities in the class and actually organize activities for the children to do during the orientation week, just to get them well oriented and feeling okay. And oh, parents can come in and they can do things with kids. So I
Yeah.
think that was really nice for them. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So everything is settled now. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. So we'll add this to the list of suggestions.
Yes.
Yeah. In response, that's great, right?
While you're sharing your 40 minutes meltdown, and I think of my child who came home and say, why the teacher want us to write the same in Chinese school, same character for these many times.
What is it?
It's
the
like,
character?
buku tulisan.
Okay.
So is it the same word they have to write it for
Again and
multiple
again.
times?
Yes.
For like a whole page? It's like, what's the purpose of it? And then I was speechless. I say, why do you think your teacher, did you ask her? Can I ask her? I said, why not? And then I get a call, like get myself in trouble. Because it's like, your child is not listening to the instruction in the classroom. And then as a mom, I say, oh, I see. So what did he do? He asked us, why do we have to write the
Same
tulisan, the same character
Yeah.
for so many times? I say, yeah, that's one of my questions that I have not understand neither.
Did they explain to you?
No, it's just like speechless. It's just go by the rules. I said.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I think there's we're producing a lot of children that are thinking children nowadays.
exactly.
Thinking children, and they're so much more advanced than that, and but itulah, I think there's this gap between having them learn to be a little bit obedient and just like, okay, like, okay, this is how it's gonna be, and then take off on their own creative, spurt,
Yes.
and then just supplement
Yes.
how we can. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a struggle, understood. And people will say, oh, you have one teacher to 35, maybe 40 children. Okay, how are we going to do this by making sure that everybody's interest is best served? How does the teacher manage that, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's easily done, but of course, the earlier you start in an environment that encourages them to make decisions, to be helpful, etc., hopefully it's a continuation. And hopefully that actually, you don't have 40 students, you have 40 assistants.
Exactly.
Okay.
I like that. I mean, I always say that.
So it's like after a while, like Montessori said, the children are acting as if I am no longer there.
Yeah.
Only if the environment is allowed whereby they can lead, they can do this, do that. Where we work, you have a factory supervisor looking after about the same amount of people with some assistants. I guess in the classroom, it might be a head of house or monitor or librarian. So you can do it for the adults. Why are we not giving our younger children that same respect, that same benefit of the doubt you know,
Mhm.
and saying that, oh, you can do it, you give it a try. Why are we doing that? I mean, it would be wonderful if we can. Yeah.
Especially with right now with the technology,
Mm.
you don't need the factory anymore. Everything the robot do it for you.
That's right. Yeah, and
So-
the children are learning
Yeah,
all
but
of that.
But we have to encourage, and we have to applause for when my child asking me the question why, you know.
Yeah, not don't ask so much
Yeah,
questions.
just do it.
Just do
So
it.
I give my son two choices. I say it seems like this is something that you must do. Okay, you can either do it very sadly, but I think you can do it in a very creative way. And
And only
happily, he finished the whole thing
Writing.
for this many years writing. So it's just like, while you have a complaint, we need to be a listener.
Oh, yeah.
I heard your concern.
Mm,
Exactly. I don't understand too.
mm, mm.
But what are the ways that you can do it happier?
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. And to understand that there are some processes in life that you cannot avoid.
Exactly.
So this is why we're talking about the reality of things.
Mhm.
So if our children are inundated by whatever man, whatever transformer, whatever everything, right? And they're not certain about what's reality. So they will always have this what if, what if, what if.
Yes.
Okay, this is how you make a sandwich. Okay, and now you try. What if I do this? I mean, great within the boundaries of, you know, cleanliness, hygiene, and safety,
Mhm.
you know, using the knife and whatever. But if we give too much, you can pretend to have, you know, a fluffy, scintillating cotton candy and just pick from the this and that. And so they will have this doubt, right? And the doubts will serve to, like, they might eat fit or to try or anything like that. But if we give them the assurance that it's okay to try,
Mhm.
and we learn from mistakes,
Yes.
you know, and all that, the room for human touch.
Yes. And creativity. How do we teach that?
Mm.
I can't teach being creative.
Mm.
I can't teach innovation,
Mm.
but it's from
There.
your idea. It's in there. You have to outsource the robot. You have to outsource the artificial intelligence. How? Like you're saying, Aisha said in the beginning, the sensory activities, way when they're in early childhood time.
Yeah.
They need so many hands-on learning.
Mm.
That's what Montessori gave it to the children.
She,
Yes.
as a scientist, as we all know, observed and realized this is what they need.
Right.
And we saw to that need. And it's been translated to, you know, place, work of the child. And now we are actually, since 1995, Malaysia, a signatory to the Children's Convention on the Rights of Children, which is the right to play in 1995. So we are all actually having to abide that law, the international global law. But sadly, it's not happening with some. And operators like yourselves, you know, you're stuck because you want to please the parents, and the parents are so stuck because they think they want the best for the child so that they can get the highest optimum level through this system. You know, with tweaks and exceptions, we can actually make the system work. Like, for example, I had when I had a school, and you know, a parent was a bit offended because she said, "You're asking my child to write, do a creative sentence. You know, I'm not asking to write one. I'm just asking to choose some cards and to put it in an order that it becomes a sentence." You know, and she was like, "Well, I can't. You can't expect my child to just pick words from the sky." You know, I'm not doing that. I say every day they get to use these materials, then they learn a few nouns, they learn a few adjectives, a few verbs, and now just do like, it's just like a jigsaw puzzle, putting it the right way around. And how does it sound? Okay, a big red nose sounds a bit happy, right? If you guys are supposed to be putting like a long crooked nose, you know, so they play around with it and they're working. So we are giving them vocab, giving them experience, encouraging them to try, and the knowledge that I am given this opportunity to try, to be myself, not be afraid.
Yes.
That's priceless.
Yes.
You know.
Learning that is fun. When you're, but we should have like a survey and ask this because it's back to school time. Maybe
Yes.
ask them, it's like, how do you feel about school? Ask the children, hear from their perspective. And it will be very interesting
It
to
would be.
hear.
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
try that. Maybe we will do one through MAM and we can give it to all the students and let's see how it goes. But of course, some of them are young, some of them might not be writing yet or whatever. We'll figure it out somehow. It'll be nice. And as you know, ma'am, is no NGO. So any funding for research and development, etc., please do call out to your corporate contacts and say you want to support good education. This is a good place, good space for us to not indulge in, invest in. Because as we know, is it Jenkins study? 17% ROI
right,
for early childhood, right? And this is all typically developing, what you want to call it, neurodevelopment, not P40 only. 17% ROI.
Exactly. I mean, to give a voice to the children, we and all of you, that we need to think of a way that to support our kids to be kids, to see that learning is a lifelong. It's not when you finish Form 5 or finish your bachelor, you put a period at the end of it. It's all the karma.
Yes.
There is no period that you stop learning because you keep thinking, oh my goodness, there's so much that I can learn.
Yeah.
And right now with my elder daughter, right now, I say, you know what? You don't need to do spelling. I said, why? Because all the homework being done on the laptop right now. So when you are, they will fix it for you.
Mm.
So why do we need to do
right.
spelling?
Autocorrect.
Autocorrect, that's right. I say, you're so right.
Yes.
Why do we need to still do the spelling?
And use dictionary, because Mr. Google has solved everything now, right? And everything else is going on to, AI creating stories. It's going to such a stage as we all know at universities, they're allowing certain percent of plagiarism, certain percent of, DeepSeek and ChatGPT and all that. But, at the end of the day, when you show a child or any individual that they're so accomplished with their ready capabilities, they grow so much, they have so much to offer. I think we all know this, right? So anyway, I think, we've covered the trauma on day one thing. That's one. And how children, it's not a case of just saying, boys will be boys, children be children, but actually, yes, children will be children. They will touch, taste, smell, and they will react if they don't feel safe and all that. They're like humans. Of course, they're humans. They're like you and I. They're just smaller.
Yeah.
And for us to be able to see through the eyes of the children more, with the system whereby you do have quite a lot of children on your hands, how would we do that? We are just keep trying, not giving up. Other nations are doing it as well.
Mhm.
They get to know the children. I think what I'm trying to touch at is the human touch. That
That's
part.
something that AI cannot.
AI
replace.
cannot replace, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
So
need to get charged. Battery low, charge the battery, and
That's
I'm
right.
alive again.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Anybody else would like to say offer any comments? Our friends, Ruzin, Jennifer, Zara, and Ty. Anything else you'd like to, say while you have us here, upfront and personal? Any questions that you'd like us to address or anything? But essentially, if not, we will just wrap up by saying that, in summary, it would be nice. It would be nice if everybody recognized each other for who they are as is. So a baby as is, through nurture and nature, can go through a certain journey, but their nature, for us to acknowledge that, and to weave their journey in such a way that the environment will just enhance it positively for them, and not just say, oh, they're kids, we need to make things easy for them, or make things too fast so that they can do other things, and suddenly you do things so fast, you've got so much all the time, and then what happens? You give them a device. It would be nice if all this extra time was bring the children to work, to play, to work, to do what they to make their own environment and all that, and all that capabilities of decision making, of managing, of analyzing. They are doing almost university style work.
And I think also emphasize on the
Outdoors, yes,
outdoor activities.
absolutely.
Yes.
As long as there's no lightning and stuff, right? If it's a bit like today, mendung, a little bit darkish, it's wonderful. It's not so hot. Go outside and feel the climate. Yes, we live in a hot country, and actually we're quite comfortable here in Malaysia. Not
Very
too hot, not too cold,
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yes.
so much that the children can do. I don't know about you, Jason, but as a child, without this and all that, I remember the routine after school was to go to the back of the house
Yeah.
and then pick all the curry leaves from my mother's tree. She get very upset. There's no more curry leaves, and we will take it and just chop it up, masak. We used to do all that, and if only all our children could have that available opportunity. Even if you live in a condo or whatever it is,
Yeah.
there's ways of bringing
It's,
nature to it.
I grew up in a flat,
Mm.
in KL here, and I have 4 sisters, older sisters. I never go to kindergarten because my mom said, a whole family already, you have so many sisters, they can teach you. Tak payah pergi sekolah, right? Okay, so every day just play.
Wow.
So just play. When I wake up, I play with my neighbors, by the community or the swing and whatever. You just climb, you just get yourself dirty. By the time you're hungry, you go home for food. And then when you finish, you go out again. So when I was in first grade, and my Chinese will go home, it's the same thing. Because it's poor, no tuition, nothing, no tuition or anything. So you just have to, I hear my sister chanting all this, you have to memory thing and chant all this multiplication table. So before I get to that age, I already know all of that. This is the beauty of mixed age group.
Yes, exactly, in the own home, right? Because when you leave school, when you leave Montessori, depending, you leave at preschool, at school is age specific, but when you go out of school, the supermarket's full of mixed ages.
Exactly. So I think for our big family, I have 6 siblings. Not many people have a lot of children right now, like myself, I have 2. It is the beauty to see that the behavior that is okay, that accepted by the society, or I get yelled by my mom, I say, oh, don't do that. Mom will get caned. Rotan, back then.
Yes.
Now you try rotan and see you get sued.
Yeah, but it's heartening to know that hopefully both parties, parent, child, adult child, teacher, child, are thinking, and respecting each other and giving them time to think and connect. And it's quite funny actually, because we still go with the times. And you ask your children, okay, can you please respond? I asked you a question, blah blah blah, and they're going, loading, it's loading, or Wi-Fi is weak. So it is still with the time, but we can do it in their language. We have to go with the times as well and recognize each other for our capacities, what we can do. Montessori, right? It's always positive. Set it out for success. Start with something that you can do and slowly build up towards the challenging part. And if it's something that resonates with the child, whatever it is, golf, ballet, math, and we can tell that it resonates with them, you can, and spelling, there's spelling bee competition, then encourage. But you have to be there to encourage. It means that you need to learn geography again and things like that, by all means. But hopefully the child will come up and say the next day, say, this teacher knows all the football teams because of the colors of the flag, something like that. Or this teacher really wants to see my writing. This teacher's interested in me. That sort of thing. Then children will come running to school with the support of the parents, the support of the bigger community. Yeah, it can happen.
Yeah,
We pray for that.
It will happen. It's happening, and parenting never easy. Having a school, be a teacher, even harder.
Yes.
But globally, whether in in the States, in Canada, in Mexico, in Russia, Japan, South Korea, China, places that I've been through and stay, having the same questions.
Same question.
And we are giving confidence to the parents by all of us trust the child
Yes.
and give them 5 seconds to show you that I am capable.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to cry. And it's okay not to know, but I will be with you to find out a better solution and make good choices.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Well
Yes.
said, Jeffrey. Hopefully, yeah. So do stay with us. Watch our space. Data-wise, in 2019, before COVID, there are 40,000 Montessori schools in the whole world. Depends where you see and what you see as Montessori. But the latest one in 2023, I think it's gone down to 15,000 preschools. But if you say Montessori is actually this, that, and everything is actually 60,000. So it depends, the Monte something and Montessori, and of course we here at MAM as much as we can stay with us so that we can carry on advocating for the children in the way that is best for them, the most natural way. And it's wonderful ideas, because at the end of the day, as the parents, the grandparents are aging and all that, can you imagine we have all these managers in the family,
Right.
an extended family of the community, and they can do things, and we just sit down and watch.
Have a
Right.
cup of coffee.
Yes.
Yeah, teh tarik.
That's right. Just like the teacher in the classroom, right? Just watch, drink coffee and watch. Yeah. Okay. So we will be putting this up on our YouTube and posting it in our social media. Please do share with your friends. Happy to have comments and all that. And let's see where this takes us. Hopefully we'll see you sooner than later. May or may not be us, maybe some of you will like to approach everybody to see how their journey is with Montessori, any concerns, any sort of suggestions and all that, so that MAM can be of greater service to you in the community. Okay, with that, I'm Aisha from Montessori Association of Malaysia, and he's this very, very generous sharing member.
I'm Jasmine Lock, a member of MAM.
Okay,
I'm happy to be here to be with all of you here. See you soon.
see you soon. Take care. Bye. I know to stop this thing. Okay. Not recording. Okay.